Justine Kasule Lumumba, who will also launch the Medien report to society. Honorable, you're most welcome. Let's give her a big round of applause. Honorable Justine was here by 7:20. So thank you very much. Another round of applause for her.
Thank you so much, MC, members of parliament present, the excellencies and members of the diplomatic corps, permanent secretaries and heads of agencies in the ministries, the family of the Stanbic holdings with the different offices you hold there, distinguished dignitaries from the private sector, civil society and academia, partners of Stanbic Holdings, distinguished members of the media fraternity, all of us who have managed to gather here and those who are online. Good morning, everybody. I was told I should be here by 7. I was late by 20 minutes because it is so good when you hold the functions early before we go into other things. So when there is the opportunity, I always feel that it's the best. And it's the best because you also tap into a fresh brain. And that means we can also listen attentively as leaders and pick what we can take to our offices to make sure we improve in our performance as we do our work. So I want to begin by saying the NRM government took a step of liberalizing this economy. The different sectors were liberalized. The extent that even remember, we had our UCB, and we knew UCB. It was known in our homes, even in our villages. But it wasn't enough to serve this country. And the government was not doing enough. We made mistakes as politicians when it came to that. The same government took a decision that we should now liberalize and take even this bank to the private sector. So when you have the success story narrated here by Anne and team, it is success to NRM because we took a decision after knowing that you would do much better than us as government. And we also took a decision as government. By the way, even if these decisions were taken before I came in, when you come in, you take both the positive and negative. You inherit both the assets and liabilities. Even liberalizing the sector, but in addition, taking it that it's private-led economy. So when I hear you narrating all that you are doing, but most importantly, being so adaptive to the conditions, to the environment, and making sure we have a better world tomorrow. Because we have one earth, tomorrow we shall not have another one. It's the same. So we must make it better today for those to find it better than it is today. So on behalf of the government of the Republic of Uganda, I wish to congratulate Stanbic Uganda on this tremendous achievement of launching the report to society. It is good because it helps many of us know exactly what you are doing. Because most times when you are doing what you are doing, it will be known by those people you are working with. It will be known by those who are near you. It will be known by you who are doing it. You sit in boardrooms and work, but how do the world come to know what you are doing? So it is part of accountability. And when you are making accountability as Stanbic Holdings, you're actually making accountability on behalf of us. Because if you recall, at the time when the discussion was on the political platforms about the sale of UCB, I was very present in Parliament. But when you come out and give this accountability, that you've gone beyond banking, you are looking at the welfare of people, and you are looking at it sustainably, it is us to go clapping. So you've given me what to say on radio tomorrow. This report is of great value to us as a country in the pursuit of our development, sustainable development goals. So as the focal point minister, I was feeling so good when they were telling us all the products, all the facilities you have really offered to the different teams. And I was saying tomorrow I have additional points to make, but most importantly, to appreciate that you have been part of us as we make the life of a Ugandan more meaningful. Safe management of water and sanitation, reduction in maternal mortality, ending preventable newborn deaths, and providing quality universal health coverage are key tenets of the Sustainable Development Goals. These are the benchmark for any country as we measure our progress in implementing our SDGs. While the government remains relentless in its efforts to ensure sustainable implementation of SDGs, we are glad that we are not working alone. So my presence here is a sign that we are committed. We've been committed, we are still committed, and we shall remain committed to work together, because for sustainability we can't go it alone. We need everybody on board. Government launched a private sector SDG platform for collaboration. The purpose of the platform is to mobilize the private sector in Uganda to provide continuous support towards the implementation of SDGs and our National Development Plan 3, for which we have even launched to begin on making the Development Plan 4. The opportunities that exist within the SDGs, like the growth of enterprises and access to markets. The platform also contributes to the growth of the economy by mapping business activities with individual SDGs and setting priorities within the SDGs. Why we set priorities within the SDGs is that when you look at all the 17 SDGs, the most important one that can unlock the others is SDG 1, no poverty. Once there is no poverty, you'll be able to have access to good health care, you'll have access to good education, you'll have access to good water, but most importantly, you'll have worked on the mindset. The platform is chaired by the government under the office of the Prime Minister, co-chaired by the UN Resident Coordinator and the Private Sector Foundation on behalf of the private sector. And the pillars are four. One, coordination, which is done by the office of the Prime Minister, the SDG Secretariat, housed in the old post office building. And I want to introduce Dr. Albert Byamugusha, who is a consultant and heading the Secretariat. Then the Business Development Services Facility, BDSF. Then the Knowledge Hub, working with academia to generate data and knowledge available for the private sector on investment opportunities. And the fourth is the SDG Challenge Fund for capital and mentorship, startups, support and innovation, especially for young people to contribute and lead us on issues to do with SDGs because of the most important word, sustainability. But here we are, 7 years to go, SDGs 2030. 7 years to go. Where are we as a country? So whatever you are doing as Stanbic Holdings, you are helping us to go into that. You are helping us maximize and expedite the process of implementing SDGs to be able to register more success in the remaining 7 years. And they are no longer 7 because of 2030. And today is the 4th of June. That means we are left with less than 7 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I sat and listening to all of you spell out what you have been able to do. I'm really happy and very sure that if we work together, increase on coordination, we shall be able to bring the remaining 39 Ugandans who are still in subsistence living to come into the money economy. And with this Stanbic, you are doing it very well. I remember last year you invited the Prime Minister and we were in Busitema to launch issues to do with community circles. I remember very well Anne was explaining to me and I was saying her, this one doesn't know is going to help us on issues to do with parish development model, and next time it will be me running around on the media houses in the country to say we did it. Whether I say Stanbic was part of us or not, but I will say we did it. So I kept smiling. So I'm also happy to be here today to see that you are telling us how far you have gone with the different projects. Stanbic's work to support quality education, improve health care, financial inclusion with their work with circles, disbursing over 20 billion in as affordable loans to the ordinary people is commendable. And this you are scoring in the parish development model. Sometimes I hear some people talking to the negative, most times because they don't have information. They always look at what government is doing. They don't know that there are other development partners who are doing the same, but because there is no information, somebody can afford to make statements without substantiating. So when you bring us to, when you are launching a report, it is part of solving challenge you. We only challenge you on the figures, but not challenge on the activities behind the figures. It is also very impressive to hear that Stanbic Bank has a women empowerment loan scheme called Stanbic for Her that gives cheaper loans to women, especially rural community women. I'm pleased to hear that over 19 billion reached the 600 and 412 women entrepreneurs in Uganda. But that's not the most important issue. What I want to appreciate mostly in this is the first bit, the first step of helping this woman who has an idea to put it to order, but also to work on the mindset. Because once you have worked on the mindset, somebody can go and pick money from anywhere else, but to do what? So you've solved the most important, and I'm here to say thank you. But as Oliver Trist, please, more. Because the 19 billion, and you have started with the 6,400, and that was the first year. So you've registered success, you have improved speed, and you give us more as women. So when we talk of the 44 million Ugandans, remember we the women are 51%. So when you talk of 6,000, now look at the number in relation to the figures, the total number of women in this country. So that means that we still have a lot of work to do, which we must do together. So, Anne and the team, Oliver Trist, please more to the women. Because you know, once you stabilize a woman, once you give financial independence to a woman, you have given stability to that home. And you know that family will remain strong. And the next generation will be much better because you had anchored the woman in the financial inclusion pillar. I don't want to talk for the men. The men will talk for themselves another day. But still, as government, we call on the men, please support women when they are undergoing the issues to do with financial independence for your own good as a head of a family. Bestowed to you, given the responsibility by the Bible, by God, the Creator. So don't run away from your responsibilities. We're also coming in just to make sure we are useful partners when it comes to financial inclusion. I'm also pleased to hear the immense support of financing Uganda's agriculture sector, which not only supports Ugandan farmers, but also makes us remain a food basket in the region. We are a country in the world which is blessed as number 3 with organic soil. So when you come in to help us in agriculture, you are helping us be able to compete in the world. But I want to acknowledge we still have a big challenge when it comes to harvesting. We need to add value, but also train our people more on issues to do with post-harvesting. So, since you have registered success on working on the mindset of a woman who has come in your place, if we can also help us work on issues to do with post-harvesting, it will help us. Just yesterday in the cabinet, the president was telling us we've not done much as ministers, especially in terms of sensitizing our people on issues to do with the health and agriculture. We now asked ourselves, what was the intention? What is he going to tell us? He told us, when you get your guineas, shell them, removing the shell and putting the guineas wherever you put them. The moment you do that, you've subjected it to whatever can affect it. So when we get our guineas shelled, kept somewhere because you want to keep them in smaller quantities, you're actually exposing yourself to health issues. So, but this is something that we don't know. But work together with the private sector and the scientists, we shall also be able to eliminate what we have been doing culturally because we've not put in the scientific way. And this calls for everybody's effort. So I also want to call on Stanbic that as you work with the Ministry of Health, let's also take in the component of prevention when it comes to issues of health to these people. As government having a pattern as strong as Stanbic Uganda, with a kind of muscle, not to mention the other subsidiaries like Fly Hub, with its innovation strategy and the Stanbic Incubator, which is training the youth and people in the entrepreneurship, we do not take you for granted, helping us to score in the line of SDG 1, for which we have put now much more effort in the parish development model, in the Myoga, but also the youth funds and the women entrepreneurship. So we want to acknowledge your efforts and say thank you. It gives us the strength to reaffirm to the people of Uganda that we are on course, and that makes us talk with a lot of confidence because we are not going it alone. There is a saying that confidence comes from knowing that one behind you is loyal to the hilt. We are confident because we can count on Stanbic Holdings, especially on issues on solving the issues of SDG 1, SDG 2, SDG 3, SDG, maybe I mentioned them. SDG 1 is no poverty. SDG 2 is no hunger. SDG 3 is what? Good health and well-being. SDG 4 is what? Quality education. SDG 5 is what? So, all of that, if you observe, you are scoring in all of that. Sustainability is very important in everything, but how we do it is also important. And you are answering the issue of how. That question is being answered by you, but let's just accelerate and spread out to most parts of the country. But whatever you do every day in your home, every day in your offices, every day on the roadsides, every day that what you do, most times you are helping us score and implement the SDGs. We have one planet, so let's make sure we preserve this planet jealously, so that our children, grandchildren find a better planet than the planet we have today. This can only be achieved by working together. So as government, we are working with everybody. We are working with the private sector, and that's why I'm here. We are working with the Interreligious Council. We are working with the culture institutions. We're also making sure we reach the farthest first and leaving nobody behind. We work with even the minority groups to make sure everybody is brought on board. Everybody should have better life. Everybody should live happily. Everybody should have meaningful life. I want to stop here and say for God and my country.
You're the one that that I keep hoping. Everywhere you go, I go follow you. You're the one that I keep